I'm Sophie, or Sophia, or you can call me Sanjay. And today I want to talk about my experience at the Dark Retreat in Guatemala. So, I learned about this place through the yoga studio that I do a work trade at called Fearvana Yoga in Kenilworth, New Jersey. And they partnered up with Fearvana. I'm going to leave the links below of both of the places and the retreat so you can look at them yourself. So basically I heard about this place through my yoga studio and through the experience of I have a really hard time pronouncing their name, Ashkai from Fearvana. When we were at a meeting for the yoga studio last year, they spoke about their experience in a dark retreat, and instantly I felt drawn to go. I did not at the time have a meditation practice. It was me barely able to sit in Shavasana in yoga. And when I did start to meditate right before I went, I could barely do 5 minutes. I had no idea why I wanted to go, but I knew that I was meant to go. So I decided to go. So coming up to December 3rd when I went, I did not have a lot of money to my name. I had just gotten a job, literally, to save up for this. I barely had any experience in meditation, like I said. And I had never traveled overseas alone. I was terrified to do that. And it was the middle of this pandemic. But I felt like I had to go, so I just couldn't. Eventually I did go. I was able to save up money, and with a lot of help and support from my family and from other people, I was able to go. Despite a lot of things that were in my way. A lot of people told me I wouldn't be able to go. I was scared to go too. But eventually I was able to go. So I arrived in Guatemala. I was exhausted. It had taken me hours and hours to travel because I got the cheapest flight. And I arrived at this retreat at night. And the owner brought me into my room. And they showed me what it would look like in the dark. It was dark. It was beyond dark. It was a darkness you will never, ever be able to imagine unless you experience it. And at that moment, I think they could sense my anxiety. It was terrifying. I was gonna be in a fucking room by myself for 3 days in the dark. Mind you, I have an eating disorder and struggle with it still, and I have OCD. So on top of just being in the dark, I was going to have to deal with not doing my rituals and having to eat meals. Eventually, they started talking to me. They put the candle back on. I told them I was a witch. I practice witchcraft. I'm very spiritual. And they explained to me then that this was the same, that I was used to the dark and my darkness and dealing with the dark. And they told me that this was a time to go within myself and to sit there. This was a space for myself. They said a lot of things, but that pretty much sums it up. But it made me feel better, and that night I slept with the candle. I had the option of turning it off, but I was terrified, so I just slept with the candle. The next day I woke up, and it was pitch black. Completely beyond pitch black. And I just laid in my bed. I was exhausted for one, from traveling, and my body had been under stress for months and months and months. You know, you get caught up in daily life, working, all of that shit, having to be human, do these things, and also these other implications I put on myself. So I was exhausted, and I was just sitting there. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to move. I was terrified to get up, to just be still, to eat, to not do my rituals. I felt like I laid there for hours. I don't know how long I laid there, but eventually I got up because I was thirsty. I kept trying to prolong eating. And then finally I did. I sat down with my food. It took me forever. And I just slowly began to eat. It was hard. And I had to sit there and tell myself it was okay. It was like eating for the first time. And I fell asleep right after. To my surprise, my body actually felt good. It was like my body needed that nourishment. And this continued on, I realized, for the next 3 days, that my body was craving rest. That my body was so stressed out that I just needed time to sit and be. The whole first day, I just slept. The third day was hard. Ooh, not the third day. Second day. The second day was really hard. I had really bad dreams with people from the past that had hurt me. And I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to do the same thing again. I didn't want to eat again. I just wanted to lay there and cry. And I just started talking to myself and comforting myself and thinking about all the wonderful things in my life. And I felt better when I realized how many wonderful things I had in my life. I got up. I ate. I had to talk to myself again. I laid on the floor. I cried while I did yoga, and I had to soothe myself. I sang to myself. Eventually, I felt better. And I just felt grateful to have everything there, to have a shower, to have water. It was hard to get water from the sink in the dark with my plastic water bottle. Every time I was thirsty, I had to constantly refill it. Everything took a lot more time. It was a struggle. Yeah, the second day I just felt grateful. That day I mostly slept too and just sat with my mind and comforted myself. And I mean, even moments eventually, I started to feel like myself again. And I was dancing and I was laughing in the dark. It was weird. But I felt like myself. And nobody was around. So I was able to just be myself. Without any implications, without any outside influence, any influence of what I think I should be. I was just myself. That night was really hard to sleep. I knew my last day was after that. And I woke up on the third day. And I was so awake. So awake. And I was just so excited. And I fully felt like myself. And my body felt so amazing. I felt so at ease and so at peace for the first time in so many years. I felt so blessed and grateful. I was laughing and singing and moving at my own pace. And on the third day after I ate, instead of falling asleep, for the first time in my whole life, I think, I started meditating. I laid there and I just started meditating. It just started happening, and I felt so good. A lot of people go to these places, I guess, to have these spiritual awakenings. And that's not what I had. I had my own experience. I had the experience of finding myself again. The experience of realizing that everything that I needed to heal and move forward in my life, I already knew and was within me. And in a way, I just feel like it was literally a blessing from the universe, from who knows what, for me to realize that and for my body to finally just be still and be okay. And to show me that I could heal on my own. Because it was all within me. I'm really grateful for the experience. On the airplane, I wrote this. This was on the way there. It is dark, the pitch black, drab state of New Jersey. Waiting exhaustion, anxious, pouring in me. Small pane window. Breathing short breaths. Sound, my comforting friend. Easy, melting in between strangers. I took off, I feel the smile, like that wondrous child, cross my face. Higher and higher, goodbye, homeless home. I turn, and the sun makes a smiling presence, a rainbow, submerges. The tears roll down my cheeks. I have found hope again. I am in love, and I am alone once more. Thank you, Fearvana Yoga. Thank you, Ashke. I hope I'm saying your name right. From Fearvana. Thank you, the retreat in Guatemala, which I also can't pronounce the name because I always mess it up. And thank you for listening to me. If you made it this far, I'm going to drop the links below of these places. And if you would like to read my writing on it, I have it posted on Amazon. Sending love and light. Bye.